that's the weirdest part. My husband always tells me, he's like, you do your best work when you're struggling.
It's me, Chopsy, here with Sam, and you're listening to the Caffeine Fueled Creative Podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the Caffeine Fueled Creative Podcast. This week, Sam and I had the chance to sit down with Hope Buys-Whitworth, better known as Hope Project Arts online. And it's kind of a long episode. We have like 10 minutes before we even got to the introduction. So without further ado, enjoy.
I've been really recently into just drawing illustrations of different fruits or I've been trying to get away from so much exactly fan art stuff to more my own illustrations, just because it makes me feel better about myself and what I'm doing.
Isn't that the struggle though? It's like I'm sure there are people that love doing fan art, but I would personally rather draw my own things and have people recognize my own things and want that. But I could sell fan art all day and people
have we started
will
yet?
love it.
These are things.
I mean, I'm recording. I am recording.
Okay.
I mean, this will be definitely
this is all great.
This will be stuff we'll
really
cut
good
out,
stuff.
and piece together however, but it's like I don't really want to do fan art, but if I don't take fan art to events, I don't make money, unfortunately. And same thing with that repop. Like, they're constantly like, oh, well, can you draw this? Because we know this would sell. People like that. And some things have to be like, okay, I'm into that. I can draw. Then others, I'm like, I don't really care about Harry Potter, so I'm not going to do a Harry Potter piece that someone's going to connect with. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm just at that point. So
it's super important for me to have some sort of connection to it. Majority of my art has a connection to someone or something that I like, you know? Like these ones that you're looking at right now are all designs that I'm making actually for a good friend of mine. She's starting her own wax melt and scents business.
Nice.
And she's got all these different smells, and she struggles with the artwork for her labels. And so she asked me to do some of her labels.
I feel like, are they out yet?
She was at the Gem State Comic Con with me.
Okay, because I was going to say, I feel like
she
I
made
saw
some
that.
freshies with my art on them. But what she really wants to do is, we were talking, what if I made some, one of her scents is coconut lime. And we were laughing when we were hanging out because she was like, put the lime in the coconut, And so we ended up, I made a lime and a coconut that night. It just kind of clicks, and it's been so much fun to work with her. She's got one called Ghost Train.
That's a
you know?
great,
that one's cool.
And so she's going to be using these on her labels. This one is
you
Stormwatch.
You can't let her have this one because I would have that as a print.
Right.
But she's gonna she's been recently also making some of my stickers for me because she's able to make stickers.
Gotcha.
And so we're gonna have some fun together with some of the stuff that we've been doing. And these are just some of the ideas that she has these different smells. I take some of the scents home and I smell them, and then I kind of draw something according to what I feel, blueberry crumble.
Get high on the supply, and then you make what comes to mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
One thing I found that was fun over Christmas was I had 2 jobs where I painted on windows for the Christmas season. And I wanted my window paintings to be, somewhat unique. And one of them was for where I work. They just wanted some fun characters on there, like some reindeer and stuff, but they let me be cartoony with it, and I just had fun with them.
Nice.
I did one for a sports place, and I had reindeer kicking the soccer ball, some playing baseball, Santa was playing golf on one of the windows. It was a lot of fun. And I found I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
This one right here, actually, I've been working on kind of like a book for myself.
Good.
If that even can become a thing, because I don't really do any comic books. But I really want to make some sort of book with my art.
There are art books.
Well, I'm
There are-
starting to get tired of people starting to say, like, mine is, people are like, that's not quite a comic. And I'm like, let's all call them all art books, because I think
Yeah.
that's what
I
the
enjoy
goal
the
is.
art of
Totally.
all of that. It's something that ever since I was a little kid, like I'd always, like Shel Silverstein was something that I just loved. I liked the poetry and I liked the art that was with a Shel Silverstein.
Yeah.
Like, it was simplistic in a way. But I also really like complicated stuff like Salvador Dali's stuff. I like the weirdness because I am a little weird.
Is this the collection of the
These
idea
ones
of,
are the collections from the book that I want to do. So you got like the overthinker and the addict, petrified. A lot of them came from like emotions that I'm feeling, now or I go through, kind of something about me.
Oh, so drawing your emotions is possible.
Yeah.
I'm just too thick to do it.
No, I just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Though. I didn't want it necessarily to always just be about me because I know other people struggle with mental health in general, and I think it needs to be like more known that it will actually petrify me sometimes. Like I feel petrified when I, struggle with that type of stuff, and so a lot of it would be like, how would I do it in a way where it's kind of portraying that to whoever's looking at it,
Speaking of
I thought of a coloring book, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of petrified, how was Gem State Comic Con for you?
It was great, actually.
Was it?
Yeah. I had 2 tables for my first time ever, and it was exciting to have 2 tables because I was like, I had room to put all my stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen me struggle through
those back
my
screens
shows.
are great. They go up real high. That's a good setup that you have.
Yeah.
Good display.
I still struggled with that backdrop though because I always wanted to fall over on me, but
Oh,
we're working on that. Every time I go, I learn something new.
get some weights for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I thought maybe I'd bring my sandbags next time.
Yeah, it's probably easy.
They're pretty small.
So it was good for you though.
It was a good time.
You did Gem State too, right?
Yeah, we
it
were
was a
actually
good
across
time.
from each other.
Yeah,
we
were-
neighbors.
Just a couple
totally.
tables down from where I was.
I didn't even leave the house. I literally have not signed up for any event this year except for BCAF.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't signed up for very many either myself. I was going to do Goddess Festival and opted out of that. I am doing a show on the 17th, 18th, and 19th in Pocatello, which is at FMC Park. It's like a music festival.
Okay.
And so you go for 3 days and listen to music all day.
Nice.
And I've been one of the vendors there since the very first time they had it. With my sister-in-law, she does oils, and I also make her labels for her oils.
Was she who was tabling with you at Gem State?
No, that's Night and Day Scents, Nikki.
Okay, that's the one
Yeah.
who the
Yeah,
images
that
are
I'm
for?
doing those
Okay.
images for. I also make some images for my sister-in-law. She does Nature Spoils. She makes like essential oil blends.
Okay.
And so I do some of her label art as well. It's a lot of fun working with both of them.
Yeah.
But she's always at Shady Grove with me, so.
Nice.
And then I also am going to be at BCAF in August.
Helping us boycott the Portland artists.
I just think it's a
I really
all we
don't
need
know
is a
any of
gentle
them.
reminder. Yeah, because I know power
I'm a
doesn't
really
like
isolated person.
truth being spoken to it. So if we say something to them, they'll say like, crush whoever is the first person to speak up. I'll take the heat too. I'll just say, guys,
No,
everybody here is cool. You can
I'm
hate me."
joking. I'm not gonna hurt. I'm not gonna have time to leave my booth. I won't have time to harass anyone. Unless they put us side by side, and then we
it's-
can.
Blood pressure.
Oh, that's cool.
I was having some issues with my blood pressure. I drew that.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they put us next to each other, we might have to like purposely like
Start
book
some
tables.
rabble-rousing.
Well, no, I would say book tables next to each other so we can have like your stuff, my stuff, and then like podcast stuff in the middle.
That's brilliant.
That would be fun.
We could just be knocking interviews off.
Look at
right at
that.
the
Yeah.
That's a good
You could
idea.
interview people. Yeah.
Well, this is always a good question that I think we like to ask the artists that we have is, what got you started doing art? And you can answer that in any form you want.
Before we do that, we got to do the introduction.
I thought you were going to have to hose that
we
in later.
we haven't even started that yet. And then we can go back to your
I
question.
thought you were just going to fake it.
Yeah. No. So, welcome back to the Caffeine Fueled Creative Podcast. It's me, Chopsy, and I'm sitting here with Sam.
What up?
And today we're speaking to Hope.
Hey.
Last name,
Hope Buys-Whitworth.
okay, Buys-Whitworth. See, I never know
You
what
could
to
just
say.
Hope Whitworth. Is
Hope
fine.
Whitworth.
Yeah.
Also known as Hope Project Arts.
Hope Project Arts, yes.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners, like in your own words, like explain what you do.
Basically, I create art because of my mental health. I do illustrations and just create what I feel, basically. Not necessarily, it doesn't always come out in my art as exactly how I'm feeling, but a lot of feelings go into all my art. That's why a lot of them are really hard for me to like sell originals, just
Yeah.
because a lot of me goes into them. When I'm creating, I'm usually just, doing it because I'm thinking of a relative and I make it for a friend, for art, like just a gift. It was just something I used to do. I always loved art when I was a kid, like it's just something I've always had. My dad got me watercolor paints and a table one time, and one of those art tables that leans. It was so cool. Yeah. I had one of those, and that's what got me into like water paints. Because I just had this little water paint and a pencil and an eraser. I never had any fancy supplies to like draw. But I would always like look through magazines and draw like people in the magazines. Like I drew Mariah Carey
Nice.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, your realism is outstanding.
Thank you. In school, I would take the art classes. Every time there was an art class, I would always just take whatever class I could there.
Yeah.
I actually got an art scholarship to Boise State University, but I never used it.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I got a scholarship.
I mean, you should have.
No.
No.
I did go back to college and try for radiology, nursing type programs, but really soon after, well, actually, I guess it was like 4 years of me doing that I decided this wasn't the kind of job for me. It was very emotional, and I didn't know at the time when I was going to school that I had issues with my mental health. I found that out after I had my second son.
Yeah, children
kinda
learn
went-
everything.
My health went down, and
Yeah.
I struggled a lot with that. So it was a difficult time period for me, but what got me into back into art was, one, I was struggling. But I like to create things, like even if it's not just on paper. I like to wood burn. I've wire wrapped. I do all kinds of different stuff. Use like clay sometimes for stuff, but I just like that creating part of it. It's something that later on I can go back to and be like, hey, I created that. There's something good in me, because I
Yeah.
struggle with that, goodness part sometimes. But the reason Hope Project started was my kids and my husband they saw me struggling, and I would struggle with just the everyday job I was doing, crossing actually at the school. And it was just really stressful for me. So I ended up starting this. My oldest actually told me I should start a YouTube channel and just draw. And so he made me an intro and you know, we found some music and we recorded me drawing, and I drew, actually this drawing right here was my very first drawing for Hope Project Arts. I didn't know what to call it, but I figured I would call it Hope Project Arts because it was a project to work on myself and a project to better myself and make myself see that, you know, life is worth living and that, you know, you can do something with this. Because I've always kind of been told since I found out I had mental health issues. I have BPD and bipolar, and I'm not afraid to let people know that, you know, that because it helps me explain why I am the way I am. You know, there's bad days where I just don't want to be out with anyone.
Yeah.
And there's really good days, and art has made this possible. You know, just being able to associate with the outer world.
Yeah. How long did you stick with the YouTube channel?
I did that actually for 2-3 years. I still have it.
Well, I assume you have it, but...
It was good 3 years of pretty consistent posting.
Nice.
I got up to 300 followers, so I was pretty happy with that.
I've got 15 on mine.
I met a really cool, like, artist community on there when I first started. Actually, shout out to Larry Williams for that. He lives in Washington,
I know Larry.
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, I tabled next to him at HorrorCon one year.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He helped me find some of the confidence in, like, you know, let's find other artists that are, you know, like you out there in the world, you know. And he would shout out my page and, you know, make me feel good about myself. And people started coming and commenting and telling me that, you know, hey, this is really good. And it made me believe in myself. So some of my earlier art, I look back on and I'm like, I have grown quite a bit since then, you know, and I don't always give myself that credit nowadays, but I should.
Yeah.
It's been a good thing, though. So the main reason I do Hope Project Arts is just being able to, like, share what I have with everyone else, you know.
Nice.
If somebody else is struggling and they don't know what to do with themselves, I mean, you can be passionate about something. It doesn't have to be art, but to create something with your own hands, it's a good feeling to have. And it gets your mind off of all that overthinking.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do a lot of is overthink. So I put that overthinking into those.
Yeah. I like how you transitioned from the intro right back into Sam's question, like smoothly, like flawlessly. It was perfect.
You're going to edit a flip-flop of that perfectly. And
I'm going to leave it.
Good interview was.
So, well, I was jumping right into it. So, I like to ask everyone, is being an artist your full-time job, or do you have a day job? You don't have to say what your day job is if you don't want to, but just for comparison.
It was my full-time job. I did quit my full-time jobs to work on the Hope Project, and I did that for a good 5-6 years of it. It wasn't necessarily that I needed to go back to work, because my husband supports me. He's the superhero. He wanted me to make sure I mention that in my interview. He is my superhero.
So he's got a little bit of an ego about it. No, I'm joking.
No.
I've got one.
He's a rock star.
Too,
he is. You guys would love him. But it's I lost track of what I was saying.
It was your full-time job, and you went back to work.
Yeah.
But not because you had to.
No, not because I had to, but because I actually kind of struggled with being around people at a certain point. Like,
you were
I
so
got really
isolated.
Mm-hmm. And anytime I went to go do a table show, my heart felt like it was beating out of my chest, and I would get so much anxiety, and I just freeze up, and I felt it inside me. A lot of people said they didn't even notice.
That's so funny. I was just about to say, I think it's probably really important for other artists to know, like, to hear this. Like, I just think you are so cool and collected. It's so, you know, and I'm the same way. I get really, like, anxiety ridden.
Yeah.
It's just really neat to hear you sharing that.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
Yeah, well, I look at you guys the same way. I'm like, God, they got their stuff put together. I'm over here, like, last minute putting my stuff up still. Hope, you know?
I haven't drawn anything in months, but, you know, I have enough stuff printed that I could just take it with me anywhere I go at the moment.
Didn't you guys meet at the Swell Art Collective? Were you both in that at the same time?
No.
I was in Swell.
I was not.
She was
I
not.
actually was one of their fans.
I think somebody shared one of your posts on Instagram or Facebook, and that's how I found you, and I started messaging you, and I saw that you were going to be at an event that I was also going to be at, so I started messaging you.
Okay.
And I think that's how we met.
Yeah. I think I know it was on Instagram.
Yeah, and I think that was
'Cause
either 2019 or 2020, like early 2020.
it was, like 2019, I think it was.
I think, yeah.
Because I really just started talking to all of you guys in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I wasn't part of the Swell community, but I remember watching them on Instagram and seeing their events and just being like, wow, I really wish that I could be part of something like that. I loved your guys' skateboarding paintings and stuff like that.
I miss doing the skateboards. I have like
it looked
10
like so
decks.
much fun.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get in with like local artists, you know. I wanted to see like people nearby me that like could have something that was similar to like what I did, you know, like I wanted to be part of that community of artists, you know, and just have you guys see my work, and I get to see your guys' work, and
Well, then we have an opportunity for you, but we'll talk about that later.
It's a lot of fun for me to meet new artists and people. I've met so many people doing this. When I was doing my YouTube channel, I actually had a couple actors from The Walking Dead contact me over some of the art that I drew, fan art that I drew of them, and I actually send some of them Christmas cards at Christmas, you know.
Nice.
That's rad.
Santiago Cirillo, I just got back a hold of him. He was at Requiem Haunted House here in Caldwell, and he's a huge supporter of them because he has this thing he calls Haya Nation, and it's just for...
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
yep.
you know who
I know who you're talking about.
It's cool. It's for mental health awareness, PTSD, you know. He just does a lot of stuff in that area. And so when I met him, it was at Thrills and Chills in Pocatello, and I had no clue who he was. I just knew he was a Walking Dead actor. But then we got to talking about art, and it was just really cool to talk with him about, you know, I always go back to the mental health thing, but it is something that is really super focused around in my art. Is the fan art is a lot of fan art that like friends or relatives have requested, you know. These ones like really remind me of my relatives, the Harry
and the Hendersons one.
And the Hendersons. Yep. He's been super popular with people. Like the yoga one reminds me of my sister-in-law. She's always doing yoga.
Nice.
My dad on a lot of them. These are self-portraits for Inktober or Drawloween. I try to do illustrations for those too. I didn't really do a good job last year.
I have not done a good job the last couple years. I always get behind and then I give up.
But I do enjoy the prompts, and I like to try and go out of the box with those prompts, you know? It pushes me to have that more creative part of my mind.
Yeah.
I try to draw, like, every day, but majority of the time it's not like this. It's just a doodle in the morning when I'm having my coffee or something. But it really helps for me to, like, just draw and do it just for myself. I like doing commissions, but I really enjoy
you?
just drawing for myself more.
What type of materials do you like to use the most? Because I notice a lot of different...
Yeah, I have
Perfect. That's
different
the next
mediums.
question. Your medium of choice. You kind of hinted around mediums earlier, but...
Yeah. I don't really have a specific medium that I stick to. I guess if I were to say I have any medium that I stick to the most, it's just pencil and paper. Pencil, paper, eraser, little smudger. I usually carry that around with me. Just because that's what I used to always have when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I am always drawing more traditionally. I have tried digital, but I haven't ever really been successful with that. Still trying to learn that one. But Prismacolor pencils I really love. I like watercolor.
Yeah.
Watercolor's been something I feel really comfortable with. I also really like acrylic paint. I paint on just these wood pieces at home with those.
Yeah.
And so those are pretty much my mediums.
So do you find it weird that a lot of kids now are starting digital and not even like doing anything by hand?
That's actually my youngest son. He actually started with doing it by hand.
Okay.
And he really enjoyed drawing by hand. But I did notice that when he started getting into that digital, a lot more of the stuff that he looks at and learns is all digital art.
I was going to say their world, that's how they learn now. So yeah, I bet they pick that up just real quick.
He's a pretty amazing artist too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
I didn't know how much you wanted to talk about him because I had, I was going to ask you questions. It was cool seeing him at Gym State.
At Gym State, yeah. He was excited. That was his first time sharing his art with the public, like.
Was he doing that from your booth with you? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made him his own little special section right there
Nice.
in the middle of the table that he could show 5 of his pieces
Well,
off.
I mean, you had 2 full tables.
Yeah.
You had to fill up the space somehow.
By the end of the show, I had 3 because the guy next to me left, and they told me to spread my stuff out.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was pretty exciting day for all of us. He got to sign his first artwork print, that he sold, and he was super excited about that.
I was going to say, I remember the first one I got to sign where, I had sold a couple prints, but someone was just like, oh, will you sign it? And I was like, I mean, my signature's already on it because it was printed on there. But they're like, no, I want you to sign it. I was like, why? But
if you become a famous artist, which you are, then... that makes it very valuable.
Hey, you know what? I would not consider myself famous at all. I wouldn't even consider myself known. But when I was interviewing and applying with the Monument Company, apparently their custom artist was aware of me because they were getting ready to they were doing their research for my interview, and they had my website up, and he was just like, oh, why are you looking at Chopsy's website? And they were like, oh, you know who Chopsy is? And he was like, well, I don't know him, but yeah, I know of him. And so when they told me that at the end of my interview, I'm like, I don't know him at all. That's weird. I'm not used to people that I don't know recognizing the name Chopsy.
Yeah.
So
I talk about you all the time when I talk about art. You too, Sam. I talk about you too. I'm
a little offended that I asked you to be on the podcast and you blew me off, and then Sam asked you and you're like, yeah, we could do it.
I realized I have this more aggressive way I'm saying, hey, let's get this done.
Well, I would agree because you were just like, hey, Josh wants to be interviewed. You gave me a whole list of people you'd talk to, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think it was the fact that both of you were both like, come on, do this.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids will tell you that I was like, oh, they want me to do a podcast. I got to get back to them. I got to get back to them. I got to get back to them.
I wish we could do this just all the time with everybody. It's just a fun chat, and it's really cool to get to know more about you.
Yeah.
And that was the purpose of starting it in the first place. But having Sam come on as co-host is definitely made it a little bit easier because
Yeah.
it's not just me trying to either talk to myself or sit with one other person. It's like a
Yeah.
group thing.
Yeah.
And my
So-
goofiness takes a little of the pressure off.
All
Well,
right.
I'm always awkward anyways.
We're artists. We're all awkward.
Oh, yeah. I used to be cool when I was younger and something broke, and now I'm like a good artist, but I'm such a nerd. Like,
I fall back on dark humor. When I feel uncomfortable, I make really awkward jokes, and people are just like, "Oh, that's funny. That's just him." But it's really me, like, trying to deflect everything.
yeah,
So-
actually, I did read some study recently that said a lot of the mental health and creativity, there's just certain links that are not very many people that are neurotypical do a lot of art. It's not.
I'm a normal human worm, baby. Whatever.
It's kind of the way I communicate. I
Yeah.
mean, any time in my life that I can think of where I were trying to show someone that they mean something to me, I've created them art. So, I mean, it's very meaningful to receive my art because it's just something that I know I can afford because I do it myself.
Yeah.
And it's meaningful because I put my time into it. And
And your soul.
I am usually basing it off of whomever that person is that I'm doing that for.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's kind of...
So when you mail a piece of artwork, you're like, UPS, you have to insure this for $500. No, I'm joking.
No, I've really struggled with selling my originals, and I
Yeah.
have so many of them that I need to let go of some of them.
You
You,
just
know,
need to frame them all and have a show.
I would love that, but I don't even know where to begin. That is a big issue of mine.
Okay. Getting the wheels turning.
I have a website. I sell my stuff on there, and you know,
And it's
I make
called-
prints and I do shows, and that's like I have the 32 Cells Art show. I'm going to be participating in too this year.
As am I.
Yeah.
When is that?
August 17th, 16th, 16th
Yeah, I
or
think so.
17th.
I should know. I'm working
I
on
think
the.
it's the
I'm working
16th.
on the flyer for it. And I still don't know what the date.
Well, then you should know the date.
I should.
I can look real quick. It is actually on August.
And we will put links to your website and things like
16th.
that. See, it is.
I was
Wow,
right.
that was a good guess.
Yeah, the 16th, and Comic Arts Festival BCAF on the 30th and 31st. And I also have...
If he's got it on the board.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So you brought up how you got into doing art. When did you start taking art seriously? Like, as like, oh, this could be a career.
That was when I started the Hope Project Arts.
So it was just
Yeah.
at that time. Okay.
Just because I was in a place with my mental health where I didn't believe in myself enough. I thought, and I got tired of the, I guess if you would call it, what is it, a stereotype of somebody who has mental health where they don't do anything, and they're just depressed all the time. And I don't think that that's bad, but like that for me, that's kind of how I interpreted that people would look at me.
Gotcha.
And I'm not saying that's the way people who have mental health issues are.
Yeah.
But for me, that's the way I kept receiving that. And I didn't want to receive it that way. I wanted to be something where I could show others or the world that I can beat whatever's going on inside my head. Because there's a dark side there. But I found that a lot of the like personal art that I do, kind of like this one, there's a light in the dark. It's kind of some theme I've kind of created where there is something dark about it. Hence why I like spooky stuff. I really like scary things, drawing things, but nobody ever finds my art creepy. Except for me.
It's
guess.
funny because I can see those elements in your art, but it's not the dominant like aesthetic in your art. So you can kind of see like the underlying creepier theme or the darkness creeping in, but it's
Yeah.
never
See,
the focal point.
And that's where I've noticed by just creating art is that I've kind of where I want to take it is where I'm creating art that does show that, you know, that light in the dark that I fight every day, you know, and, you know, with it being like a project to work on myself, it really does help me to see that as well when I'm looking at my art later. You know, I've noticed that it boosts my confidence in just, in general, accepting myself as I don't feel so awkward.
Yeah.
I don't like to feel awkward, but I do on a pretty daily basis.
I mean, does anyone really like to? I mean, I like to make other people feel awkward, but
I hope I'm not being too negative.
no, you're
right
fine.
now.
No.
No way. Like I said, I think it's really fascinating that you're a normal person that has struggles, so that's cool to hear. Was there any pivotal moment that you said, that's it, screw the work life, art is where it's at right now? Anything that pushed you off the edge? Or?
Well, my family mostly.
The support?
My support system was really just like, Hope, you have this cool skill, and you really like my mom. Not my parents. I'm sorry, I love my mom and dad. They're very supportive of what I do. When I was younger, though, I was supposed to be a doctor. And
They became
you know,
supportive
art
after you
wasn't
started
really
making
a job.
money.
It was a hobby,
Yeah.
you know, that was always what I was told, you know, or maybe I didn't believe I wasn't good enough. So that was like then, you know, like that's what kind of kept me from pursuing art. And when I started drawing, like people would be like, well, there's other jobs you can do, you know, and I didn't even know you could do some of those things, you know, like I at one point wanted to do tattooing. I wanted to learn how to airbrush. I wanted to airbrush cars, you know, things like that. But I never knew that there were those jobs when I was younger, you know.
Yeah.
I had my oldest son when I was 20, just freshly 20. I mean, like my birthday, and then he was born. And so all I've done is be a mom and survive, and, you know, like I had to go through custody battles because I got divorced, and, you know, it was really a big thing for me when I was younger that my art scholarship really didn't get taken advantage of because of those issues, you know, because I had to survive, you know, so I never really thought of it as something that would make me enough to survive, you know. And I did supplement, you know, with wire wrapping. I made some rings, and I made pendants, and I made these little dragonflies and butterflies. And I would be serving at a restaurant because I always liked to work at restaurants and stuff. And I would take those little trinkets in with me and sell them to coworkers, friends, you know, whomever. And it worked out for me and got us by, but it wasn't everything I took seriously because it wasn't making really anything that could pay my rent.
I think we've all been in situations like that.
I used to do hemp wrapping jewelry, and I was like, that just rang. I just understood that story really well.
And I didn't really have any friends then that were artistic, you know, I mean, I had artistic friends, but none of them did. They did the same thing I did. We were all just surviving.
Yep.
We never really tapped into that creativity. Now, you asked me this question earlier. That's why I do hostessing, was I just basically was pushing myself into that atmosphere where I would be talking to people and being around people more so that I could feel more comfortable. And it's worked.
Yeah.
I forget sometimes that we're recording.
Yeah. Oh, that's the fun part. It's
That
very
gets the
candid.
best stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna be, like, so
I can
embarrassed.
send you the entire recording for yourself to have, and then also have the edited version so you can be like, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Tried to do that for Sugar May, and she never got back to me. So I mean, she has both versions.
She said she hates to listen to herself too. But we're all like,
Oh,
I'll listen to everybody else's interview but mine.
You know, it's real funny. I was real awkward about listening to myself at first, but after I listened to the podcast like 4 times in a row, like editing and cutting stuff, I start to like ignore myself and just listen to what everyone else is saying. So it's fine. So your education, you had a scholarship, but you didn't go to school for art.
no.
You went to school later for...
I'm just completely self-taught artist. When it comes to art, haven't taken any classes pretty much since high school.
Yeah.
Anything that I've learned since then has been online or even actually from friends. You know, people who I look up to.
I mean...
You know, just tips here and there on things like, mostly when it comes to business aspects, you know, I've gotten a lot of help from Nathan, Spooky Dinosaur, on like my prints. I mean, he's helped me figure out how to get my prints where I just really love my prints.
Yeah.
You know, he makes these really nice ones for me, and it's meaningful to me because it gives me a way to be able to still hold on to my originals, but be able to share myself with the rest of the world, because that was one thing I was struggling with before when I was first started. Hope Project Ours was just, okay, I could draw,
Yeah.
but where am I going to go with that? You know, like, do I even have a style? But I think it's there.
Yeah.
In this piece that's going to be the art book, I can see some stylistic choices for sure.
I've been trying this year recently to get more of an, you know, like a series, I guess, of artworks. Mm-hmm. So this is my, you know, I guess I would just go with mental health series. Like, that'll be emotions or whatever you want to call it. I haven't figured out a name for it yet. But I had written some poetry to maybe go with some of them. And then I thought maybe I could put them into a book of some sort.
Well, when you're ready to start doing that.
Because
can help you format it. I do lots of them, so.
I would appreciate that, yeah. I don't know, I thought of a coloring book for a little bit. But I kind of like the black and white of it. It has its own, like, I guess, feeling.
Yeah.
Because when I'm drawing this, like, I drew this in one evening. Just draw it just because I'm just needing to get out of my head. So that one actually was me just trying to get out of my head. I was just envisioning, like, my screaming. And I was like, how cool would it be to have just this person screaming with a giant brain? I've been really addicted to, I don't want to, because you're recording.
We'll cut it out. It's fine.
I've been really addicted to the stupid battle stage festival stuff on Fortnite.
Oh, yeah?
I will sit there and it just numbs my brain for some reason. I will sit there and click, 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 and it just gets me out. And that's where addiction came from, that's really just me hanging out with my soda, playing, Fortnite.
Nice.
But, it's kind of silly, but it gets my mind off of the overthinking part.
I mean, everybody needs something to help them relax, even if it's building and blowing up stuff. I mean,
it's but like some of the more recent art that I've been doing has been just me trying to find my own style with it, and I really want to add color to these, but when I very first started drawing, I was afraid of color. I was terrified of it ruining my art.
So that's
I'm still like that.
That's when you scan it and you do it digitally, just to play with it, because it's not permanent. No one ever has to see it. You can play with it, decide whether you like it or not, and walk away.
That's how I do my comics. Is I draw traditionally and ink traditionally, but then I color digitally. Because I don't want to ruin the line work with the color. Because I'm not
terrified
good at
of
it.
it.
Most of my prints are either drawn traditionally and colored digitally, or I've kind of moved to a few of them are just 100% digital.
Okay.
But
yeah, and my oldest has told me about drawing, and my youngest, now that I got him a really cool drawing tablet, I can't remember what kind it was, but I got him a drawing tablet that I'm kind of jealous of. I need to have this one because it is, sensitivity wise, the way it would be if I were drawing.
Just wait till he does something wrong and be like, "You're grounded. I'm taking this." And then you use it for a little bit.
And then I'll use it, yeah.
Hey, Amy,
He's
let's
going to
have
teach me,
kids
though,
now.
because I don't know how to use it. I'd be completely lost. I'd be like, okay, I have it. What do we do now?
It's just like drawing on paper.
The pen's too wide.
Except when you don't like it, you just go Control Z. Oh, it's gone.
See, I have trouble, though, remembering the Control Z.
You could set up hotkeys so it's just one button.
That would be good. See, you guys always tell me this.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time I've been told this. They're like, it's so easy, Hope. It's just...
Or you can just get an iPad and do it with an iPad, and then it's just like 2-finger
That's
swipe.
what Chopsy always says about digital stuff, but I think he's just better at experimenting with it. I'm like, I don't know these buttons. I'm not going to touch it. And he's more willing to open things up and just try it out.
I try like every software that comes out. Like if I can get it really cheap. Like
the best way to learn it, though, is just to do it. I mean, that's how I would learn it. As majority of the stuff I've learned in my life is just by just do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I learned how to draw. Was I wanted to draw a person's face, and I wanted it to look like somebody's face, and I wanted other people to see it that way. So it was like, okay, draw Daryl. I started drawing Daryl from The Walking Dead. And people would be like, oh, wow, that looks like Daryl. But if you look at some of my earlier drawings of portraits, they're very light, and I learned the value part of it, just by watching YouTube videos and just noticing it myself when I look at a finished piece that I've done.
Yeah.
I notice where I wanted it to be light, but I want it to be like a lot darker in a spot, and how much of a difference it makes in the entire piece when I'm looking at that value part of something.
Yeah, something that might help you if you're experimenting with digital is take a pencil drawing and scan that, and then just try and like ink it digitally don't worry about like tones or anything else. Just try and like recreate your line work with it and see how comfortable you get doing that.
Yeah.
Because the coloring part of it's easy. It's like having a paintbrush. You can choose the size you want and just throw color in, but it's the finer stuff that's going to help have you hang up that's worth trying to figure out. And most drawing programs have like a smoothing tool that'll let you have like perfectly crisp lines and rounded curves and stuff like that. And when I first started doing digital, I always had that like turned on to the max. Like if I drew a straight line, I wanted it to be straight. I wanted curve lines to be perfect. And as I've gotten further with it, I've gradually turned that down to the point where, depending on the program, I don't even have it on, because if I have like a little hiccup in the line, it's just like if I was drawing with pen. Like I'm okay with having those little mistakes and then figure out how to like hide it with the other things I'm doing. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do with a pencil. Is there is erasing that goes on with these, but I just draw freehand. So the layering part of digital would be really super helpful for me, and
it would, and it's just like adding the easiest way to do it, because you can set it with transparencies. So the easiest way to explain it is like you have your base drawing, and then it's like putting a piece of like tracing paper over it, where you can still see what's there, but you can set it so that it, kind of lightens it a little bit so you can still see what you're adding to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're just keep adding another layer of a transparency so you can work more over the top of it. And then you can go back and do stuff, like you can move your layers underneath. So, you could easily, have your pencil drawing and then set it so that way that anything that's white is transparent, and then be able to color underneath it without affecting any of your line work.
Gosh, that would make my life so much easier some days.
Yeah.
There was one piece I did for the Gem State Comic Con, which was it was all the anime characters. I don't know if you saw that one there. And I had all these anime characters, and I started drawing it, and it was all in pencil. And then I inked it in after I got everybody where I wanted them. But there was a few times I wish I was drawing it digitally, because I would have like Naruto in the wrong place. He was here, but he would look better over here.
Yeah.
Dang it. I can't just move him over there. I have to redraw the whole thing. So that's what took me so long to get that one done, was just I wanted them to be peeking out in the right places, and it is definitely a lot more work to do it all by hand.
And that's kind of what pushed me towards working more digital, is the time constraint, because usually I'm trying to produce like a story or a comic or something. And it's like, okay, if I have it's easier to erase digitally, but I also have like less of an attachment to it. So it's more of I can just get it done, as opposed to like hyper focus on some of the details. And granted, I've zoomed in super far to get really fine details. And then when you print it on the actual page, like some of the details I've looked at don't even like copy over when you actually print it. So it's like, oh, cool. I focused on those tiny little details for hours for them to never show up. Like no one will ever know they're there. So
But you do.
But I do, and I still hate the fact that I was like, it still wasn't right, but no one will ever see it. But I know it's there.
I have that in just about everything that I draw. I look at some of them, and people compliment me on artwork, and I'll be like, it's great. And I can't stop looking at that one squiggle that I did wrong. Yeah, it was great.
That's funny.
But
are you from here? That was a weird way of asking. Where are you from? Let me back that up. God. Here, let me start that again.
Did you grow up in the Boise area?
I grew up most of my childhood in the Boise area. I was born in Charleston, South Carolina. And then we moved. My dad was in the military. He was a gunnery sergeant, Marine. And so he got stationed over here in Boise. And we were told that there was like all these mountains and all this stuff that, he got to, I remember just vaguely when I was about 5 or so when it was happening.
Yeah.
My dad saying, which one, this one or this one? And it was the one with all the mountains and stuff. And so we headed that direction. And it was out here, and there was a base, or there still is, over here in Boise. Mm-hmm. And that's where he was stationed at. And when we were driving here in the U-Haul, because we U-Hauled it all the way, I remember when we got to like outside Mountain Home, there's like all that desert. And my dad was just like, what is this? There's not a mountain even close to here. Where are all the mountains?
Oh, so he hadn't actually like traveled to go see.
He hadn't even seen Boise at the time.
They're like, look at these postcards. Which one do you like more?
There were no mountains, He was like, where are all these mountains? But then once we got here, we discovered where the mountains were, and that it was a lot like that. But yeah, I grew up from here, and then I moved a couple other times after my dad retired from the military. He took on a property management job where we traveled a lot. And so we bounced from Idaho to Colorado to Washington and then back again, because my dad really enjoyed it here. And from high school or junior high to now I've lived in Boise Meridian area. I mean, I went to Boise High School and graduated from there. Was going to go to Boise State. I actually went a few years to Boise State. I went about 4 years to Boise State. But that was in my more grown-up days after I had my first son.
Yep. I went back to school a couple times before it stuck, so. What are you doing over there, Sam?
I'm trying to tell my wife to shut the dog.
No, the dog's fine. He's not super loud.
But,
You like
yeah,
you're texting. Sorry. I
No,
was
that's
trying
fine.
to tell Amy the last interview we did, he just kept running back
Through the door,
and
yeah.
I kept not noticing.
it's totally fine. I love puppies.
So, you've kind of gone over, artistic style and techniques and themes and stuff like that. And you have any favorite artists? What inspires you outside of, I'd hate to say mental health problems, but, do you have any other
Did
artistic
I focus
inspirations?
too much on
No.
that?
I
I don't want that to be the whole.
No, I didn't want to just sum up the entire thing in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Who stepped in his mouth?
Yeah,
It wasn't me
I
for
pulled a
once.
Sam this time. But no, I mean, do you have any favorite artists? Like, what else inspires you?
I have a lot of artists that I look up to. One of them being you guys. I do look at your guys' artwork, like it's something that inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing and keep growing with what I want to do, and there's Salvador Dali is one artist I know that ever since I was a kid, would look at his art and just be like, this is really cool, because it's not like anything else I've seen, it's different. It's not, there's just weird stuff happening, and it's interesting to look at it. And
I was always drawn to Salvador Dali as a kid, too.
I just love the way he stretches things out and makes things melt, and it's just really cool. And it's realism, but it's not. And I like that style.
It's called surrealism.
Oh yeah, surrealism. See, that's the consequence of me never going to school for art.
It's,
I'm learning all these words.
yeah. So there's
history lesson.
there's surrealism, and then there's the more modern interpretation of it, which is the pop surrealism, which is a lot of can't remember any of the artists' names at the moment. Usually the artists you see in like Juxtapose magazine.
Okay.
Where it's that kind of weird, like off.
Like Greg Crayola Simpkins.
Yes. Trying to think of other names at the moment. Mab Graves and a lot of those artists
I really
fall into that like pop surrealism, where it's still surrealism, but it's a little more palatable for general public. And then you have the weird guys that are like, I painted a doll wearing a meat suit inside this weird dollhouse. What is his name?
Oh, yeah, I do think...
Mark, you know who I'm talking about.
I have the magazine.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, so...
I used to get Juxtaposed all the time.
I just said it.
There's a gentleman from one of my first artist communities that when I was doing my YouTube channel with Larry Williams and stuff, Andrew Kadima. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's an oil painter.
Name sounds real familiar.
Yeah. He does these really amazing, like, just oil painting of portraits and just stuff. He started on just self-portraits for a while. When I first started following him, he was doing weird, stretchy things with his face, and it was just cool. But it looked realistic, but his face would be all stretched out and melting or whatever. And it was all with oil paint. And he would make videos, and like he does some now where I've just watched some of my art friends grow over the years, and it's just like really cool to see their art grow from, what it was to now.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be a better appreciation for art YouTube, because it takes so long to do an art piece that you can't just like pump out, multiple videos a day or even each day, which is what the algorithm wants you to do. But
and it's impossible.
As
and
an
it's
artist,
stressful.
Yep.
And it will make you. I just don't believe in that. Like, you have to freaking make something for you. I mean, I tried it.
I did too.
Been there.
Even on Instagram and things like that. But
it's hard.
We're not content creators. We're artists, and we need to be able to work at our own pace. And
I think if you're passionate about it, that you're going to create a lot of art. I mean, or whatever you're creating, you're going to create a lot of it, and it's going to be successful. It's just, I think people lose that focus on that passion for what they do because of how social media is nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, I really tried to be on social media. I mean, my Instagram is probably the biggest social media platform I have as far as followers, but I mean, I worked day and night on that Instagram account for a long time, and now it stressed me because I am not a content creator. I am an artist, and this is what I do, and it takes time, like people get into those videos on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they see it done in like 2-3 seconds, and it's not the real thing.
Yep.
It's not what goes into that. I mean, you're just seeing like bits and pieces of it. And I enjoy making a video like that, but sometimes I just don't feel like recording myself when I'm creating what I'm creating, because I'm just really doing it because I'm struggling, or I'm just needing to get something out, and that's what comes out of me, and I'm like, wow, that was really cool. Why didn't I record that? And then I put myself down for it, and I'm like, shoot, if I would just record that, that'd be cool, but
that's one of the benefits of digital, because a lot of those have like a recording built into it. So it just like automatically does it. You can export the video if you want, or ignore it.
Yeah, and then great part about a tablet is I could sit on the couch, because I never sit at my desk to draw.
Yep.
Like, I have a nice drawing desk now, but I don't. I draw on a board, just sitting on the couch watching TV.
Yep.
That's when my best art pieces, like all of these ones, came out. Just me doing that, like in an evening of just, I'm watching a show.
Yeah.
and I'm just needing to, like, my husband and I call it melting. We just melt.
Yeah. I used to do that. Now I don't.
I overthink a lot.
Yeah.
And that is a lot to do with my mental health. And so, like, I guarantee you this interview will be on my mind for the next, like, 2 months, probably. Like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Or, oh my God, what is that? Or maybe I left this out, they're going to feel bad, Like, I don't want people to feel bad.
You can always do a
I said the wrong thing,
It's totally how I felt the same way.
Oh my gosh. My brain gets way overthinking.
But you're killing it. You do this.
Yeah, this is great.
I don't feel
I wouldn't
like
be
it.
concerned about it.
But that's another thing that we do as artists too, is beating ourselves up, and
I'm really long-winded.
that's like one thing that that's what I'm trying to focus on myself, is just like, look around, man, everything's going good. Everybody, I have all these new friends, all these great art friends, and everything's going good. Just like lighten up on yourself a little.
I know. I keep telling myself I need to give myself that grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself some credit, because really, honestly, every year that I've done this, I've grown in some way. I am better at doing my table shows than I was 2 to 3 years ago. I am creating more that is my own style than I was when I first started. It's not just all fan art, I felt really bad when I first started, because I can draw fan art, but I wanted so much to be able to draw something like this. Like, I didn't want to just draw fan art. I wanted to have my own characters I could create. And so now at least I feel like I can do that. And I have some commissions I'm working on, which I haven't really had very many commissions either. I mean, I had my art in a shop last year, a year before, but that went under. They closed.
Which shop?
Mystic Garden. It was a artist collective shop off of Fairview, across the street from
Do they have a big
the
dome?
Flying Pie.
Or like a greenhouse or something like that?
No, it was
Across from Flying Pie in Boise?
yeah, off of Fairview.
I don't think I ever heard of that one.
It's in a little like there's like a money tree there, and
Yeah,
then
I know the
there's
little
like
little strip there.
yeah, that little strip section.
No, it's
is where
further
the-
up the road.
Yeah, it's like literally the shop was right next to Money Tree,
Gotcha.
but it was in that little shopping center there. And she went under, and one of her friends took over the shop. But when that went under, I pulled my stuff out of
Yeah.
the shop. But I just decided at that point that I was going to just focus on, working on my website, which I don't have my own personal website. It's through my Square store.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah,
have it all
Nathan
set
does
up.
that too.
Yeah. And I enjoy it because it's easy to post to. And I don't have to put a lot of thought into it,
I
It's not-
tried setting up one of those. I can't figure it out.
You can't?
No, I think I used to do web design stuff for a company, so I'm more focused on like the real intricate stuff. So when I tried to set it up through Square, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how does this work? So I abandoned it and went a different route.
Well, it works for me.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
so
awesome.
I started that, and I finally got more of my art pieces on there, but it kind of comes and goes with the days. That's kind of what I've been doing.
Nice.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Maybe. Any other questions? What's on your mind, Sam?
You got anything planned? Anything in the oven for the future?
Oh, I was trying to avoid getting to that point
Cooking?
because that was next.
That's
but
about the last question.
Yeah.
But
got anything you're working on now that you can talk about, or events
oh,
coming
actually,
up? Or...
I do have a good
Oh,
question.
there you go.
This is one that I am always curious about. What kind of media do you consume while you are working on your art? Usually, like movies, TV, music, anything like specific, or a lot of different things?
Repeat that.
Okay, you already
Sorry.
mentioned that you like to
watch
sit
TV.
down,
Oh, yeah.
TV and draw.
When you
So
draw. But is there anything that is like the best that you really like to just sit down and have maybe music or a certain type of TV?
I really enjoy listening to my son's music when I do art sometimes. Sometimes I'll just turn that on in the background and I'll just draw, or he'll be creating art, or he'll be creating music on Discord, and I'll be like drawing, and my other son's in the other room drawing, and we're all just listening to him making whatever tune he's making. That's
Nice.
a lot of what I,
so
do.
cool.
I also enjoy watching different TV shows with my husband. I mean,
What are some of your favorites?
right now we're watching Resident Alien.
oh yeah, Resident Alien's
That was
awesome.
so much fun.
Alan Tudyk, he's hilarious.
Yeah. So we're watching that one. He likes gold mining shows and watches those. I like to listen to him in the background while I'm drawing.
Gold mining
What
shows.
is, what is your son's handle on Spotify? How would we find his music?
He is Tape Deck Junkie. Tape Deck Junkie.
Cool. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
He's a cool
I'll
kid.
send you the
Can't
link
wait.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I like it because it's creative. It's not trying to mimic anything. It is just his own mix of the different instruments and stuff that he's put together on there. And he's planning on doing some posting of it in the future, but yeah, he made some CDs that we could take with us to Shady Grove, and he's gonna hand those out.
Nice.
They're pretty cool. I went over to his house and helped him with the CDs, and his brother and I helped pick out the order of which the CDs and his post on Spotify would be, like what songs go where and
Nice.
which ones they should be. I think there's actually a song on the album that him and his brother created together. So it's just a lot of fun to see all the creativity that has taken place in the last, I guess it's been almost 8 years now that I've been doing my art as Hope Project Arts. It's just cool to see and meet all the people that I've met creatively. Even my own mom and dad have like creatively opened up. Like when I started my YouTube channel, they started a YouTube channel for their trailer build that they did, and they were being creative. My dad redesigned the inside of a trailer and got creative that way, and my mom's been gardening more again and doing all that flowers and stuff that she used to do when I was younger, like kind of got away from when you work in every day, you know.
Yeah.
And like my dad's been coloring in coloring books, you know, like he's just been, and he's gotten serious with it, with the, you know, like the shading and what pencils work better, Hope, you know, and it's a cool way to like
adult
just
coloring
bond,
books,
you know.
adult coloring
Yeah,
books,
adult
or
coloring
like
books,
okay,
yeah.
Or they were just regular ones.
No, he's been doing these, like he's actually brought me his last book he finished, because he draws in those like adult coloring books with the like cool, like one had like a dragon in it with like, he likes the art is what he says.
Yeah.
That's in there. So it's pretty cool. And he does
really
a good
cool.
job coloring them.
Yeah, I was giving my son a hard time because he bought one of those diamond dot things because he wanted to try it, and I was just like, no real artist does a diamond dot. And I'm saying this as just like a cranky old man, but I was just like, I started razzing him for it, and I was just like, I cannot respect you as an artist. My 15-year-old son is certified by Adobe in both Photoshop and Illustrator, and he wants to do diamond dots, and I'm like, no self-respecting artist actually does diamond dots. Those are for old ladies. And he was just like, are you and he's like at the checkout line about it, he's like, are you really not going to have any respect for me if I buy this? I'm like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. It's just giving you a hard time.
We sometimes need those things just I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, sure, he's having fun with it right now, but it's tiny little beads that you're just putting on the glue thing one at a time. Like, it would drive me crazy.
I would go crazy doing little dots like that, because then my luck, I would pick it up and then the thing would fling across the room. And I'd be like on the carpet.
It comes with wax that you're supposed to put on the end of the stylus so that you can pick it up and have it stick to it, and then put it down on the adhesive so it doesn't go anywhere. So you don't run the risk of doing that unless you're like,
I thought you were using little tweezers or something.
No. It's like a little like stylus that you just like, once you get the wax on it, you just stick them like one at a time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there is a little bit of hand-eye coordination that goes with it. But
do you have like a guide or numbers or anything on there that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It has the full picture on there that's fully colored, but it has little numbers for each color.
Oh.
So it's like a beaded paint by number basically.
Okay.
But when I worked at Michael's, it was like one of the biggest sellers, and you always had like old ladies.
Is that the one where you put the wax paper and then an iron it down and it melts?
No, those are perler beads.
Perler beads are fun.
those are fun, but
have those everywhere in the
But
carpet.
yeah, no, when I worked at Michael's, like the diamond dots were a huge seller for the I want to say the bored retired housewife crowd that were just like, I need something to do that isn't knitting, because knitting's for old people and I don't want to sew, so diamond dots, that's what we're gonna get.
I want something a little more worthless than a scarf that you're only gonna wear one time a year.
Oh no, you know,
I love getting scarves.
So many people when I worked in the framing department would bring in their completed diamond dot things, and we're like, I need it glued to a board, and I need it framed. And you're like, okay, like, you want to pick out a frame? They're like, no, we're gonna go ahead and custom frame it. And I'm like, you're gonna spend $300 to frame a diamond dot that you paid $20 for? Your money, whatever you want to do.
They have it at home sitting next to their diploma on the wall.
But granted, I had people that would bring in like hand painted towels from a street artist in Italy, and then be like, I need to custom frame this. This is my favorite piece I ever got. And you're like, okay, it's $200 to frame it. $200? I didn't even pay that much for the art piece. Okay, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Framing is expensive.
It is. And
You gave me an idea, though. I want to paint towels now.
No, they're cool looking.
That's a good idea.
Paint and hand towels. But yeah, no, it's kind of, and granted, you had some people that have custom art that they didn't care how much it cost to frame it. They wanted to preserve it for the rest of their lives and the rest of their children's lives. And you're like, cool, we can do that.
And cool stuff does not look good not in a frame. Like that art piece doesn't have a frame, and it just eats at me a little bit. Like I have push pins on the sides of it. It's so bad.
I have some up in my art room that are like that I've been slowly trying to get frames for, but it's just
Slowly, that's
you know.
If you find an oversized...
so hard for me to find frames.
Both of you, if you find a frame that's bigger than your art piece, I have a mat cutter at home. We can like custom cut mats to fit your art piece. Yeah, it was one of my big purchases when I was getting ready to quit Michael's. I'm like, I'm never paying for custom framing again. I'll get the mat cutter. I'll do all my own framing. So...
That's a good idea.
So if you find a frame that you like that's big enough to go around it and add a mat or two to it, we can custom cut you guys mats and
that'd be amazing.
Get it framed for you.
I have so much art that needs frames. Frames, yeah. Yeah, that's why I have books.
Yeah.
I have books.
Well, when you want to start framing them, I can help you.
I have another suitcase that's full of books.
Yeah. I can, when you want to start displaying them in frames, I can help you custom frame them without paying custom framing prices.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sell you on it. Yeah. Not trying to sell you on it, but I like to do it
it'd be great.
to help.
No,
so
I love learning, and I appreciate you and all your suggestions to me, because it has helped a lot.
That's a cool suitcase too.
Oh, my husband brought that home for me. They were gonna throw it away somewhere. It was just an old battery box.
That's like
I was
it's
gonna say
waterproof, so it keeps everything
dry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Keeps everything dry. I don't have to worry about it getting wet because I spill my stuff all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, if people want to find you online, where do they go to look for you?
They can find me online at Hope Project Arts. It's on all of my social media. If you Google at Hope Project Arts, you'll find all of my stuff. Okay. Because I'm at Hope Project. I'm on TikTok, Instagram mostly. Mostly that's the biggest place I post. I have YouTube, Facebook.
And we'll put links to all those
and I also
in the
have
description.
A website for Hope Project Arts as well.
So is it a custom domain on your... So it's just yours?
Okay. It's just my square.
Okay.
Yeah, but...
You can add a custom domain to that.
I know. And I don't even remember if I did or not. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay.
See, that's the part that I'm not very good at.
Do you have a link tree at least?
Or... I do have a link tree. My link tree is connected to my Instagram, so you can get a hold of everything there. Well, it's also on all my other social media.
We'll post it all in the description. And
it was really cool having you on here. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. It was a blast.
I appreciate it. I hope I wasn't too...
Right.
Too what
now? Too open with my...
No.
Thanks again to Hope for sitting down with me and Sam to have this nice little chat. You can find more of Hope's work at Hope Project Arts on all her social media platforms she's on, and we will have links for those in the description. The theme song for the podcast is Escape the Maze by the Lab Brats, used by permission from Adam Wallace. Thank you, Adam. It means the world to me that I get to use this every episode. You can find artwork from the artists we interview and show notes at podcast.itsmechopsy.com. You can find more of my work at itsmechopsy.com and at itsmechopsy on all social media platforms. And you can find more from Sam at the Sam Fortner on all social media platforms that he's on. Thanks for listening, and until next time, go make some art.